Hi, it's Sarah with House Copper, and today, when Liz gets here, we are going to be doing some tinning, not retinning, tinning of how to put tin on a long face, and that's very different than putting tin in a pot. You have to really be moving the piece back and forth because it burns way faster. These long planes just the tin tends to burn while you're working it. It like gets too hot, really easy. And also because of how hot it's getting in one area, and another part, like the tin will run and then it'll stop running because it'll freeze. It'll turn solid again and I won't be able to move it anymore. So I'm going to be always moving the piece, it's just a cookie sheet, back and forth, and you're going to see how it, like, the tin doesn't move, and how I'm always going back and back and back and back and back. And that's really the best way to do a long face, in my opinion and in my experience over the years. So that's what we're going to do today, is going to be tinning, when I say tinning a long face. So that's the plan. Here we go.
So the first thing I do, as you can see, is I cover the exterior with drywall mud that is like with water and paste so that I don't get copper. I don't want it, especially on long faces like this, which copper spills on the edges otherwise. And then I put it on the fire to let one half of it get hot. Otherwise you get a hot spot in the middle, and it burns really fast, while the edges don't get hot at all, and you end up with the crystallizing of the tin while you're trying to spread it. I end up doing a lot more flux on long faces than you expect on a pot. It just tends to not burn off per se, but kind of dry off a lot faster. So I use the insulation in my left hand because I'm right-handed. It just helps because that gets hot and there's no handles. You can see I'm pointing at how the flux is turning kind of like a caramelized color. It's not burning yet, but it would fast. But you want that caramelized color, and that's when you know that it's about ready to go. And then you can like mentally prep, okay, time to smooth it out. So I'm going to start smoothing it out here, and I'm going to kind of move the pan so that you can get the edges. Whether this is like an omelet pan with sides and things like that, you're going to be working the edges well. You don't spread as much in the middle as right away. One, as you can see, the tin stops moving in the middle, but also that tends to be the hottest spot. And the less you put the tin on right away, right in the center of the pan, the less chances you have of burning it. So now I'm going to go to the other side. And as you can see, the tin stopped flowing because the copper cools off. And right there, I'm pointing to how fast, even over the fire, the tin is actually cooling. You can see the line of that on one part, whereas it's melting down below where I'm going to start wiping. So where my left hand is now is actually, you can see the line of the tin is actually inert now. It's froze, it's cool. And I'm doing the same, short strokes on the little sides, but otherwise I'm trying to do as long of these sweeping motions as possible. You want real confident swipes so that, you can move it in nice, smooth looking pattern. But you'll notice I also do real quick little ones on the sides, and that's just to cover the space. Otherwise I've found I tend to leave spots on the edges of these. So I'm now going to the middle where I have a little bit left, and I'm going to try and sweep this, but I can tell that the tin is going to get really hot all of a sudden really fast. And even though I'm still smoothing it out and I still want to get tin in places that I can tell is a little thin or kind of are over wiped, it's suddenly going to get really hot. So my goal is to not have to do this, but I'm going to show you what it takes. So right now I'm letting it cool off the fire, and because I'm not confident that it won't overheat, I'm putting it on the cold cement floor. And what that's going to do is it's going to cool the tin. Actually, never mind, I'm just holding it over the cold cement floor, but you can put it on the cold cement floor if you have it. And then as soon as the pan cools off enough and the tin hardens enough, I can put it back on the fire with confidence that I have a much smaller chance of seeing the tin turn first that dreaded kind of yellowy pea color, which means it's already too hot and it is starting to burn. So right now I'm not going to see that happen because I cooled it. All of the tin is now inert. It is not flowing, and I have to go back in and I have to get the tin hot again. But now that it's placed, now I get to just mostly do more covering, getting any excess tin where I don't want it, whether that's out of the pan or in places that don't have enough tin yet. And then finish hopefully with a nice strong finish. So there I am dumping off a little excess tin, because sometimes you really don't want the tin to be there to be too much tin. It just looks bad.
Okay, so that was tinning a long face. I hope the description, well, I'm doing it on the voiceover and the actions all make sense. If they don't, please let me know if you have any other questions about it. But the tinning, kind of those long sheets of copper, the best thing to do is just keep trying with them. There are times when I get it, like the tin turns yellow or tin turns like that iridescent blue, that it's turning crispy, and I have to take it off and, put it to the side completely, let it cool, clean it, and then go back in as if it needed to be completely retinned. So it still happens. It's normal. It's hard. It's harder than a pot. But anyway, so if you have any questions and comments, please put them down below. Don't forget to subscribe, tell everybody about it, pick up a copy of Copper, Iron, and Clay wherever books are sold. You can see more on housecopper.com, and otherwise I will see you next time.